of the year. It is Wednesday, January 15th. Do you feel it? Do you feel the momentum? We're getting started. All right. Public hearing. We have our first item, CB4's own fellow, Fund for the City of New York Community Planning Fellow, Zev Reisman. Let's welcome Zev, presenting on our 311 project.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay. Hey everyone. Thank you for that introduction, Celeste. My name is Zev Reisman. I am a Master's of Urban Planning student for the Fund for the City, or Hunter College, and a Community Planning Fellow for the Fund for the City of New York. I was placed with Brooklyn Community Board 4 to focus on a project related to 311, relating to its current practices, issues. Next slide. So yeah, a little bit more about me. I got my bachelor's on. Always been interested in the intersection between the built environment, environmental issues, and social justice. Previously, I worked for the New York State Nurses Association, and I have been a substitute teacher in the New York City Department of Education. So regarding this project, a few of the problems, although 311 is an essential tool that residents can use, as we've all experienced, I'm sure, it takes a while. People get kind of like lost in the process sometimes. And, it's important that we make sure people, continue to have faith in this essential tool. Furthermore, it's compounded by the fact that Bushwick is rapidly gentrifying, and 311 in some instances can address some of the issues that gentrification causes, such as, developments, construction. Some of the things downstream from this, people can actually reach out to 311 about. And so some of the questions are, how reflective is the current data of the residents of Bushwick? To what extent do Bushwick residents know about 311 services, and to what extent do they utilize them? And how can 311 better be promoted and utilized by CB4, especially as a tool for social justice? And as you can see, the vast majority of cases are referred to the NYPD, HPD, and DSNY, so that's informing a lot of this project. So as I stated earlier, a lot of this was kind of like done by initially looking at the district statement of needs. And while this project can't address all of these issues, let alone solve these issues, it can address many of the issues kind of downstream of the major issues that we're seeing. So, for example, HPD can take care of tenant harassment, lead, rodents, mildew, and mold. NYPD deals with noise and community relations. The Department of Health and Mental Hygiene deals with respiratory issues, rodents, mildew, and mold. DSNY covers garbage collection, and DEP covers street flooding. Next slide. Thanks. So far for the resources assessed, I have conducted interviews with the Department of Buildings, the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, the Department of Finance, and the offices of State Senator Julia Salazar and City Council members Sandy Nurse and Jennifer Gutierrez. There are still a few agencies that I'm in the process of talking to interview. I've also been referencing the Bushwick Community Plan and the future of NYC's community boards in addition to this community board statement of needs. And then I'm also utilizing data sets from open data about 311 between 2010 and present, and US Census data. But one aspect that I think will be essential to this project is actually reaching out to Bushwick residents, hearing about what their issues have been with 311, to what extent they're using it, and how it can be better promoted. And so I'm really looking forward to having these conversations, both through field research and longer form conversations as well. And so in terms of a timeline for this, so December and January have been largely about reaching out to stakeholders, doing the initial research, and having these initial conversations to frame this project. February, I'll be doing more field research. I created that survey, which I'll hopefully be working with stakeholders to distribute. And I'm hoping a few of you can fill out the survey tonight as well. And then in March, I'm hoping to analyze some of that information, have longer form conversations with people who filled it out, and develop resources that encourage 311 usage among CB4 residents. And then finally, in April, I'll be delivering my report to the community board, as well as things, both to Community Board 4 and to the Fund for the City of New York. So once again, I really appreciate you all inviting me here tonight and taking the time to listen about this project. I have bit.ly/311 survey with a capital S, CB4, both are capital. And if you have any questions about this project, my email is reisman.zev, reisman.zev@gmail.com. My phone number is 917-445-6520. And also feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn as well. So once again, I really appreciate your time. And if you have any questions right now, I'd be happy to answer some.
Anyone has any questions? Okay, coming over now. Oh, there's a mic right there. You can come to the front. I'm sorry, Millie.
Milagro Sandoval, community member. You're looking to interview residents, right? What is the, how many residents are you looking to interview? And is it like, we have 527 blocks, right? Bushwick has 527 blocks.
Mhm.
Are you planning to kind of just pick and choose what blocks or what doors? I mean, not everyone has access to a laptop or computer savvy.
Mhm.
Are you looking to knock on doors and interview folks that may not know what even 311 is?
Yeah, that's a really great question, and I really appreciate you asking that. So I think as of right now, the plan is to interview as many people as possible. And that could be a pretty wide range of people between now and April. And as of now, one person trying to do as much as possible. And then my plan is to collaborate with like stakeholders. So if there are any stakeholders in the community that have access to like email lists, like whether they be like an elected official's office or a nonprofit, my hope is trying to collaborate with them. But also with the kind of field work of knocking on doors, I think it's a good idea to if I can't, and obviously I can't knock on like every door in this area, maybe try to find parts of the neighborhood.
Like the laundromat, right?
That's a really good
Burger
idea.
King, like places where, residents kind of sit for a while and maybe you can just
Library.
get
Yeah.
them to be part of this study.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate the feedback, especially, because that's the next step. We're going to move on to that. So that's definitely going to be taken into account and noted. Thank you so much.
Joanna Fuentes, CB4. I had a question in reference to, you kind of gave of what the police officers do and you broke it down.
Mhm.
Is there a little space there for de-escalation when it comes down to individual with mental illness? Because if it's so, are we more than happy to help with that part? Because, I deal with that population.
Yeah, so I'm still in the process of interviewing the stakeholders. I haven't spoken to NYPD yet, but I have an upcoming conversation with them. But also, you're a stakeholder too. Every resident who fills out this survey who wants to discuss further is a stakeholder. So I'd be really interested in hearing your perspective and like how we can tie it into like this research that I'm doing on 311.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Is your survey multilingual? Because we have a large multilingual community here. Oh. You don't know who I am? I'm Annette Spelling. I'm from Community Board 4.
It's nice to meet you, Miss Spellings. So yeah, I really appreciate that question. The survey is available in Spanish as well. If you have any recommendations for additional languages, that would be appreciated, and I could include that in the survey. But yeah, happy to talk with you after that as well. Are there any more questions?
Going once. Anything on Zoom, Kim? All right. Thank you so much, Zev.
Yeah. And then there is the survey on the iPad as well. So if anyone would like to fill it out, I can pass it around. But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And I'm sorry, Camacho, Chairperson CB4. Is there going to be at the end of your survey, if it's working, how it's working, if it's not working, what can we do? How can we change it? It's all right to do a study and just have a study and see what is it that we can do in regards to talk to other community boards and see what is it in regards to 311, some of the incidents that occur, don't occur, how can we fix it? How can 311 be fixed? How strong is 311 in getting the service back? Or how long would it take? Because I know you're going to do all that. But the most important is what is it that we can do to echo and force the people that are responsible for 311 to make sure that this survey does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I think that's all really important. And, for the survey, I, would love to include some of that. I'd be interested in kind of, it's still in the process of being rolled out, so I can edit it a little bit. But I really appreciate that. And, a big part of it is going to be making sure those kinds of changes get implemented.
All right. So we have the tablet here this evening for folks that would like to go ahead and fill out the survey tonight. We will keep our public hearing agenda moving. We know it's very cold outside. And we have another public comment portion today, 2 minutes per person or group. You will be timed. So anyone, public comment for those that do not know. It is an announcement. It is a concern. It is whatever you would like to address this body with for 2 minutes or less. Also would like to welcome our council member, Sandy Nurse. Welcome. All right, folks, feel free to come up to the front, public comments. I guarantee you everyone will be very happy if you take your announcement for later and you put it now. So we have no announcements. Everyone will be thrilled, but please go ahead.
Hello? Okay, this thing works. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good evening, everyone. And Happy New Year. And to anybody who's a veteran, thank you for your service. Thank you to the NYPD for everything you guys do. My name is Steve Miller. I'm here with my associate, Sarah Dean Lewis. We are from CABS Home Care, or CABS Health Network. We are a home care agency, a care management company here in the community, serving the underserved community of originally Bedford-Stuyvesant, then parts of Brooklyn, then all of Brooklyn, and now all 5 boroughs. When you were maybe with your family members during the holidays, maybe you saw a decline in their activities of daily living, or maybe you know somebody in your apartment building. The woman before me said Bushwick alone has 574 blocks. I can't confirm that, but that just means there's a lot of people living in this area. With those people, a lot of them are seniors. A lot of them are neglected because their family maybe is not around. That's where we can come in. We can help them live a better life, whether it's going with them to the senior centers, to the doctors, making sure that they have enough food so the food is prepared for them, whatever their needs are. People also say to me, well, Steve, home care, it sounds a little expensive. I can't afford that. Well, here in New York, Medicare and especially Medicaid will cover those services free of charge. There are no minimums. If you need only a couple of days a week and a couple of hours a day, we can do that. If it's more intense, we can do that as well, say 24 hours a day. I know I only have 2 minutes, so I'm just going to end with this. My information, if you want to contact me, is SMILLER, smiller at cabshomecare.org. Why are we .org? Because we are a nonprofit organization, which looks at home care very differently than some of my friendly but for-profit competitors. My phone number, that's how you get the process started. You call me up, say, hey, I saw you last night or the other night at the community board meeting. Babe. Oh, look. That was great, by the way. I'm just going to end with my phone number. 917-774-9381. We will be back for more meetings, but I want to thank the board for letting me speak, and I wish everyone a great 2025.
Thank you. We normally come out with the big ape and take people out, but it was too cold. He didn't want to come out.
Hi, everybody. This is Joe from Friends of Irving Square Park. 2 things I wanted to voice, I suppose. First, I wanted to see if anybody had speaking to the Parks Department about an update on the Portland Loo, right? It's been seemingly ready for a while, and I've gotten some complaints from park residents that people are unfortunately defecating and doing other activities like that in the corner of the fencing, right? So I think the sooner it opens, the better, right? Because they will have a place where they can do those things in the park. So if there's any update that we could get provided about that, either from the councilwoman or from the board, that's great. Second, we have our kind of 2025 kickoff meeting next Wednesday at 7 p.m. at St. Michel Cafe. We're going to be talking about grant applications. We're going to be talking about, major programming initiatives that we can do. So, whatever that might look like. If you have an interest in participating in that at the park, right? You want to see music at the park, you want to see different events. Next week is a great time for anybody to join us, and as we start thinking about what that looks like for the year. So yeah, we hope to see some of you next week. Again, Wednesday at 7 p.m. St. Michel Cafe. That's at the corner of Jefferson and Irving, and there will be cookies provided.
Hello, everyone. Lacey Tauber, Brooklyn Borough President Reynoso's office. Happy New Year. I have a bunch of stuff. I'm going to try to do it fast. Okay, number 1, reminder, community board applications are open until February 14th. It's not that much time. It's going by fast. Please encourage your friends and your neighbors to apply. If you're someone who attends the meetings, but you're not on the board, apply. Help us get the word out. If you do apply, you get to have an interview with me. It's fun. We'll chat. We'll talk about why you want to be on the board. I love doing it, so I can't wait to talk to you. Okay. Number 2, capital allocations. If you're an organization that wants to apply for capital funding from the BP, probably you know who you are. Check out our website. They're open through I'm actually not sure, but check out our website. Yes. Okay. Number 3, we're doing an event on the 22nd with the Department of Buildings. If you are a property owner and you have summonses from the DOB, you can come and do a one-on-one consultation with them about getting your summons corrected. That is on the 22nd from 1 to 7 at Cypress Hills Local Development Corporation, just across the border in CB5. There's a flyer with more details. If you know anyone who is a taxi and limousine commission driver, we're having an event on the 31st at Borough Hall called Van Halen. Van Halen. It's cute. It is on the 31st from 9 till 2. Come and learn about all the services available for drivers from the TLC. And then finally, on February 20th, we're having an event with the Department of Finance about how to lower your property taxes at Brooklyn Borough Hall. That's on February 20th, 5 to 8. There's flyers about all this stuff over there, many piles of them. If you need to contact me, my number is 718-802-3894. Thanks.
You made it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andy Marte. I am the Associate Director for Educational Programming at Riseboro Community Partnership. I want to preface my announcement with just a small story of me, who I am and how I came to be at Riseboro. There was a point in my life where I was mad at the world. I was protesting everything. I was against everything. I was protesting the police. I was a Black Lives Matter protester, and I said to myself, I'm doing a lot more harm to myself than good for those that I actually want to help. And so I turned to church. I started going to St. Barbara's Catholic Church here in Bushwick, not too far away. And I connected with God, and I realized that that was really what I was looking for a lot. Through that, I was able to do a lot of healing. And instead of being against things, I started being for things. I went back to work for Riseboro, despite all my concerns with the agency. I started reaching out to elected officials who I actually ran against, and I sat down for a cup of coffee with them, and I said, how do we work together to get things done? When I got to Riseboro, our GED program was being closed down. And the first call I made was to Mr. Camacho, and I want to thank him for his advocacy and the community board, because we actually were able to save the GED program here in Bushwick. And so with that, and actually he referred an individual, a young man with special needs from Manhattan, who's from Bushwick, but was taking classes in Manhattan. And they closed that program. The city closed that program, and so he had nowhere to go. Today, we actually just celebrated his birthday, Mr. Camacho, in the youth center on Gates. And so with that, after the Mr. Camacho, the next call I made was to our assemblywoman. And I said, one of the difficulties we have with our GED program is that there isn't really a pathway. A lot of the kids, a lot of the individuals in the programs get their GED, and they don't really know what else to do after that. Some people don't really have like a light at the end of the tunnel. So not even aware of why I'm doing that. So I just want to let everyone know we're opening an associate's degree program at the youth center in partnership with CUNY Kingsborough. The flyers are over there. Thank you, community board. Thank you all for this.
Thank you. And if you need any other time, you can go through committee and we can see what is it you have. And I also want to thank you guys for the school closed down and the mother lives up the block from mine. The kid is a special need kid. He's a wonderful kid. And I made a call. I says, I don't know if they're still doing it there or not, but I got a hold of him. And before you know it, the mom went down there and the kid was so happy with it. So, it's good to have good people that and make sure that they take care of our family. So thank you, and thank you, Riseboro. We may bump heads a couple of times, but I still love Riseboro. You know what I'm saying?
As long as we find things to work together for, not against.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kimberly Vega from Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez's office. So we just have a couple of events and announcements. We have free clinics. We have affordable housing every Thursday from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can walk in for that, or you can call us if you want to make an appointment. We have legal immigration every Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Appointments are required, so please call us. Our number 718-963-3141. We have housing legal support every third Wednesday of every month, which is from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., which also requires appointment. We're also having a Know Your Immigration Rights Town Hall in partnership with Councilmember Ressler. That's going to be on Thursday, February 6th at 7 p.m. It is virtual, so for the link, you can also call. And we also secured funding for new tree plantings along District 34. So if anyone has suggestions of where they would like to see trees around in Bushwick, they can reach out to us and we will add that to our list. We also partner with Riseboro to have 2 one-shot deal application assistant events, which is emergency cash for people that can't afford to make bills or rent, which will be happening on February 7th and March 6th, which is also on an appointment basis. So please give us a call once again at 718-963-3141. Thank you.
Can you also tell my council person that we need to see her? I want to see her here. She's been gone for a while. We know she had a baby. Just stop by, say hi. We want to make sure that we're all on the same page. I know my council on the other side is always here, so I want to make sure I see mine. So you let her know that we miss her. I know that she's working hard, but we want to hear from her.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hi, Happy New Year. We have tax season upon us. So starting Friday, 31st, you can come do your taxes for free. I'm Fran from Councilmember Nurse's office, sorry. You can come do your taxes for free at our office, starting at the end of the month, all the way through the end of tax season, April. There's plenty of flyers at the entrance, and we have a really exciting opportunity for high schoolers this spring. The Youth Civic Fellowship, we're looking for high schoolers who are interested in learning about city governance and community work and joining our office. So if you know anyone who would like to join our office this spring, there's an application open through February. So also a flyer in the entrance. We want to hire folks from the community. So if you have questions, you can ask us at the end. Those are the 2 announcements. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Maria Valdez from the Office of Senator Julia Salazar. I have 2 events coming up from our office, Know Your Utility Consumer Rights, along with Public Utility Law project coming on January 30th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. The flyers on the back, you need to register. It will be via Zoom. We also have tenant support unit every first Tuesday of the month. Walk-ins are welcome from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our office, 212 Evergreen Avenue. If you need an appointment, you can call at 718-573-1726. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Juanita James. I'm with the Brooklyn Public Library, Washington Irving. So I want to wish you Happy New Year. And I just wanted to let you know that we received a 1 million grant from Carnegie Foundation to allow to extend the English. Thank you. To extend our English and vocational classes for our growing immigrants and asylum seekers. We also planning to do community health initiatives, that's seminars for physical and mental health, fitness, safety. So not all branches, but mostly DeKalb. Washington Irving is going to get one soon, coming up in the coupling months. All our local Washington Irving information is at the table. Good night and have a new year.
Thank you.
All right, we have someone on Zoom. Cynthia?
Good evening, everyone. Cynthia Peña Ortiz. I currently oversee the Bushwick Community Partnership, as well as the Family Enrichment Center at the Coalition for Hispanic Family Services. Just 2 very quick announcements. Our Bushwick Community Partnership monthly meeting. I know we didn't have it last month. We do apologize. There were some issues going on with the site, but we will be coming back on the 21st. So right after MLK Day, Tuesday, and it is from 10 to 12. and we hope to carry on the conversation that we were supposed to have in December. So we welcome all to join us Tuesday, December 21st from 10 a.m. to 12, and we will be providing a warm breakfast. So please feel free to join. And then also with regards to the Family Enrichment Center, we are currently looking for a community liaison. I know some of you here in this room have heard me talk about the Family Enrichment Center and how it's been very important for us to bring it to Bushwick. Unfortunately, our site hasn't opened up yet, because we're doing construction and permits and so on. But we will be opening soon. And we are looking to hire, and ideally, as some of the folks have mentioned here, ideally we would love to hire within community. So if anyone is interested or would like to make a referral, the person to contact is Michael Garcia, our site director of the FEC. And I'll drop it in the chat, but just really quickly, the email is migarcia services.ny.org. And also with regards to the Family Enrichment Centers, that we're collecting votes to name the space, just like we want people to give us the color and so on. So we'll be sharing that information out with the community board so that you all have that information here as well, sent to you in an email. Thank you.
I normally don't go around giving nobody a minute, but you got more than a minute.
Sorry. Sorry, Camacho.
All right. Thank you, Cynthia. Next, we have Jonathan Betancourt. Two Jonathans.
Good evening, everyone. I'm actually like 5 minutes away from the meeting, but I'll give the announcements right now. Just bring some greetings from the Congresswoman. She's currently in Washington, D.C. I want to start off by wishing you all a happy and healthy and safe New Year. Couple of updates from our end. Last month, the Congresswoman voted yes to pass the Social Security Fairness Act, which protects the earned retirement benefits of millions of postal workers, teachers, firefighters, police officers, and other public servants. And last week, the president signed it into law. And as a result, 2.8 million current and former public employees will see their monthly benefits increased. Another important update from the federal government. Last week, the Biden administration finalized the rule that would prohibit medical bills from being included on your credit reports. This is really big. It's going to affect over 15 million Americans, and it'll remove $49 billion in medical debt from credit reports. I think we can all agree that a medical emergency should not ruin anyone's financial future, and this ruling is a big step towards fairness and financial freedom. Lastly, I just want to mention more good news. Medicare Part D now has implemented a $2,000 out-of-pocket spending cap on prescription drugs. The spending cap is a key provision of the Inflation Reduction Act, which passed 2 years ago, and the Congresswoman helped pass it. Over 19 million Americans who are on Medicare can expect to save around $400 on their medication. This legislation also delivered savings, including a $35 monthly cap on insulin for our seniors, and it'll continue to address rising costs of prescription drugs. With that being said, like I mentioned, I'll be there in give me 10 minutes. I'll be there shortly. But if you need assistance with a federal agency, feel free to call our office at 718-599-3658. Thank you.
Thank you. Jonathan Pomboza.
Thanks, Celeste. Good evening, everyone. I've been greetings from District Attorney Eric Gonzalez. I just have one event announcement that we're having on January 22nd, our annual Lunar New Year celebration. It'll be at New York City College of Technology, 285 J Street, down by Metrotech. And it'll be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Again, that's January 22nd. And you can all, everyone's welcome. Thank you.
All right. Last call. I don't see anyone up front. All right, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Venus Canterbury. I'm Brooklyn Outreach for the City Civilian Complaint Review Board. Just want to make a brief announcement. We're a city agency that independently investigates and mediates police misconduct. I'm sure our officers here are wonderful, but if folks have any concerns about a police interaction, regarding force, abuse of authority, discourtesy, offensive language. I have left some brochures on that table. Please feel free to take a look. There's information on how to file a complaint or just some basic know your rights. And lastly, since I'm Brooklyn Outreach, I do all know your rights workshops, tabling events, connecting with the community partnership for Bushwick, any schools, community centers, any place that has humans that are living and breathing that needs this information, please reach out to me. I have my business cards, but I can just have you guys have my cell phone number. It's 917-742-4098, but I'll be here for a little while so we can always connect. Thank you and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Good evening, Community Board 4. Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. It's great to see all of you. Danielle Chambers. I represent Calvary and St. Cyprian's Episcopal Church. We have a couple announcements, some good news for all of you who are taxpayers, because we all have to file our taxes. And we're having a tax seminar on Sunday, January the 26th at Calvary and St. Cyprian. And I'm going to leave that information. It's going to look like this. Please come out. We have a couple of really talented tax people, supporters, and they are advocates for all of us as citizens. So come out. We have refreshments as well. Anybody who knows about Calvary, we always have good food for people. So come out. And the last announcement is something really fun. Lovers like to do something really special. So there's always a little bit of love in all of us. So come out to Calvary's Valentine's Day celebration. It will be appropriately on Friday, February the 14th. Dress to impress because we're giving prizes. I'd love to see any of and all of my neighbors. Come out, have fun. We have a live DJ. I have all the information on a fabulous flyer. It's very reasonable, $75. Bring your date, hang out, eat, drink, dance, have fun. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Christopher Graham, CB4. I'm here with some good news from the Growing Forward College Tour. So I just want to let you guys know that we have a success. As of December 14th, William Bullock from Bushwick graduated from Virginia State University. I don't know if you can see that. So he's right here from Bushwick, Warefield Street in Bushwick. Just a little quick story about William. Took William on the tour about 4 months after his dad passed, which was a really, really good friend of mine. And he was really going through it. And we were able to get him into the school. And it took him a while to get himself together. You know, he had to go through counseling and get himself together, but he made it. And he made it through, yes. And at the ceremony, he said, you know, I thought I was all right. I thought I was all right. But when they congratulated him, he said, he broke down. He said, I did this for my dad. So that's one of the beautiful things. So with that being said, it's that time of year. The college tour workshops will begin. January 25th will be the first workshop. The dates are right. So January 25th, February 15th, March 15th, April 15th will be the parent workshop, and April 13th to the 19th will be the actual college tour. So quickly, just to tell you what that looks like, the workshops, we talk about everything from how to transit. We have high school students who've gone on the tour before, who come back now and tell you how to transition. And because, you know, to them, we're old. So we have the younger students help them make that transition and fill out applications and things that I like. And then we talk about financial aid, how we're going to pay for this, and all of those things, and the classes and workshops. And college isn't for everybody, but education is. So we do have, you know, military people and like also who comes in and make those things. And then the tour begins the week that they are on spring break, which is Easter break. And we hit 11 different schools in a week. Your parents are not going to take you to 11 different schools in a week. So our first stop is Morgan State in Maryland. Bowie State University in Maryland, my alma mater, Howard University, Virginia State, where William graduated from. And then we go on to Hampton University. Then we go to we go to North Carolina Central, North Carolina A&T, and then on to Atlanta, where we visit Clark, Spelman, and Morehouse. And lastly, the information to get in contact with us, the website is growing. That's the word growing, like growing up. The number 4, WARD.org. So again, that's growing, number 4, ARD.org. Thank you. And get on the bus.
All right, this is the last call for public comment. So any announcements, please go ahead. 2 minutes.
Hi, my name is Uli. I'm here representing the Clean Bushwick Initiative. So for those of you who don't know, the Clean Bushwick Initiative is a volunteer-run cleanup and sustainability group. You may have seen us cleaning around Maria Hernandez Park and things like that. So I'm just here to get the word out about our group for one, and our next cleaning, which will be on Monday, MLK Day. We'll start at 2:45 at Maria Hernandez Park. We hope you'll join us for that cleanup. We'll probably keep it short. It's going to be really cold on Monday, but we do want to do something to honor MLK's legacy. If you'd like to follow our group, you can follow us on Instagram at Clean Bushwick Initiative. We also have a newsletter, so you can reach out, come talk to me afterwards, and I'll get you signed up for that as well. Thank you.
All right, we don't see anyone else. That will conclude this evening's public comment and our public hearing. We will now move on to the regular meeting agenda, starting with our first roll call. Mind passing me the attendance sheet? Board members, please be ready.
And please sign in if you didn't sign in.
Yes. If you do not sign in, you will be marked as absent.
And don't call me and let me know that you was here.
All right, thank you, everyone. Board members, everyone, please be ready. Isa Abney, Stephanie Anderson, Joanna Bennett, Makiba Brown-Elaine, Robert Camacho, Melissa Carrera Solano has resigned, Felix Ceballos, Andrew Choi, Elvina Davis, Karina Dodd, Cecilia Fabian, and Freddie Fowler are excused. Joanna Fuentes, Jason Gears, Christopher Graham, Ann Guiney, Zachary Hendrickson, Deborah Hicks.
Here.
Thank you. Tanisha Honeygan.
Present.
Barbara Jackson. Kaisha Johnson. Virgie Jones. Tara Jones Thomas. Luisa Jose. Christine Malden. Freddie Madison. Alex Moreno. Ramika Nichols Barnes. Zuma Navoa.
Present.
Raul Rubio. Eliseo Ruiz. Milagro Sandoval. Annette Spellin. James Stewart. Christian C. Tate. Ben Tucker. Jerry Valentine.
Present.
Linda Whitfield is excused. One moment for the tally. 26 board members present constitutes a quorum. We will move on now to the acceptance of the agenda. Is there a motion? Alvina Davis makes a motion. Is there a second? Zach Hendrickson seconds. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. And then acceptance of the previous meeting minutes. So the December minutes need to be tabled. However, the November minutes, which were tabled at the last meeting, were sent to the board. Is there an acceptance of the November meeting minutes? Annette Spellin makes the motion.
Robert Camacho.
Mr. Camacho seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. And then to table the December minutes, is there a motion? Elvina Davis. Annette Spellin seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. All right. Next, we have our election of the first vice chairperson. This was tabled from the last meeting. As of right now, we only have one board member that has accepted a nomination, and that is Raul Rubio. Would anyone else like to nominate a board member?
Nominations have to be brought from the floor. It has to be said 3 times. If no one is nominated, then it's a blanket for that one person. So someone has to nominate someone, and then someone has to second, and then there is an election. If so.
Any nominations from the floor going once? Any nominations from the floor going twice? Any nominations from the floor going 3 times? Anyone on Zoom? All right, it is uncontested. And so in this event, we congratulate
Someone has to.
Raul Rubio. Yes, our recording secretary is the one who casts the vote. So once Mr. Ceballos returns, he can cast the 1 vote for Raul Rubio.
Felix Ceballos, CB4 member. I cast the vote for Raul Rubio.
Thank you and congrats, Raul.
Well, you got more work to do now. Now you got more work. You want to say something? You okay? All right, we rolling there.
All right. Yes, we will keep the agenda moving. And now
he was present this time.
Yes. So we would like to ask board members now to help themselves to a meal this evening. Once the board members finish, and please do so quietly, we will welcome the public to also help themselves to some dinner. And we will move into our chairperson's report, Mr. Camacho.
That's on it. Happy New Year. We got a long way to go, guys. Thursday's December 19th. I went to the CEC meeting at PS 377. I would like to thank our board member, Joshua Brown, because he was there with one of his business person, and he donated $30, $50 gift cards to the kids in the school that did a play there. And he raffled off a PlayStation 5 to the kids. I couldn't believe it. These kids were, it was, there's pictures, and it was so touching. Christmas time coming, people didn't have, and these kids had those cards. Some of them were saying they will buy their parents something because they didn't have any money. It was so, I want to thank Joshua because he had called me. He says, "What do you think?" I went to the CEC meeting. I said, "There's going to be kids there." I said, "I'll bring some raffle cards," and we raffled the gift cards. I counted the heads that were there. There were 30, and guess what? All 30 of the kids got it. So that was a blessing, and I want to thank him for that. I had brought, because I know some of my board members were a little jealous because they gave me a Christmas gift, some of the kids there. And I know all of y'all want to try to get my cup, but I'm not going to give it to y'all. I'm going to see if you got one? They gave you one like this? I don't know, then I'm taking it back then. If you got one, I'm going to get it. It says it's a Bushwick thing. You won't understand. So every time I complain, I'm going to tell you, you know, it's a Bushwick thing. You don't understand. So this is I know our councilwoman said she got one. I'm going to have to find out. You got copyrights. Oh, you got one. I got copyrights. I think I was the first one that got it. Oh, you were with me. That's right. But I got it before you did. So I think I get you. So I give me some sort of credit, man. I don't get anything. But all right. Thank you, CEC and District 32. On Friday, the 20th, we met with CB4, Celeste, myself met with Riseboro. As you know, they've been trying to work and fix some of the conditions that have been going on in their buildings and some of the people that hasn't been paying their rent. So we're working with them, with Riseboro, and we're teaming up together. That same day, I went to from 2 to 4:30. That's where I was with the councilwoman, PS 45, giving toys out, Christmas toys with the teachers and the kids. That same night, there was the Barbara Smith toy giveaway that we did at the skating ring at Star Street. Thank you, Avina Davis and the A3 precinct for giving these kids and the business. You know, sometimes business come in here and they want to make money, but they don't want to get back. But some of them did. They let the kids skate. They did the toy. It was really nice. And sometimes they take advantage that we're so nice and we know that they want to extend the hours of operations. So we want to make sure that, yes, you're giving back, but you got to be careful. You know, there's a speculation that we have in regards to hours of operation and some of these night lights. And just because they get back to this community, they think that we're supposed to bend over backwards and allow them. We're not going to. People's quality of life, especially now in the community, people want to sleep and the kids got to go to school. So we got to make sure that we look out for them too. I also went from 6:30 that same day to 8:30, 9 North Street. Assemblywoman Maritza Davila had a town hall on 50 at 9 North Street in regards to Broadway. Some of the issues that have been going on Broadway and Myrtle. It's been like that forever. I think she's trying to clean it up and help out. So I know she's going to follow up on some of these. I know I was there and I indicated that Broadway is 3 community boards, 1, 3, and 16. Correct. 1, 3, and 16. Also 3 precincts, 8-1, 8-3, and transit, 33. So we got to get them all together if you want to fix. And we're not going to put, and like I told our elected officials, we're not going to do one side of Bushwick only. There's no way in the world we're going to fix one side of Broadway only. We got to get the elected officials on that other side to get some money to fix those streets on Broadway, from Gates, from Eastern Parkway, really, all the way down to Flushing. So we really need to fix Broadway, and they say it's causing a lot of money because in the bottom, they still got the cobblestones, the old town cobblestones and the rail tracks that were on there. So they put it on there. So we really need to work with elected officials on that side and this side, get some money together and let's make it happen, because Broadway ain't seen nothing since 1977, the blackout. So that's how long. And that used to be like Knickerbocker. You go all the way down, we had stores, we had a Shoe King, we had Buy Right, we had Woolworth, we had stores on there when I was a kid. People used to go to school and work and go to school from 274 or Bushwick High School and work. Now that thing is only nightlight and party. They get on the train, they dump all the garbage, and then they go home, and then we get stuck with it. So we want to make sure that Broadway get their fair share of eating. On Saturday, the 12th, I want to thank Emerald, the dispensary that we have on Myrtle and Saddam. They donated toys to 3 of these 3 shelters, 1260 Flushing, 993 Stockholm, and also our senior building in 195. They gave out tons of toys. And Hope Garden, they gave out tons of toys. They gave back. Believe me, Turkey Day, they got on. They said, Camacho, I got some turkeys for your seniors. You tell me who needs them. We gave out tickets, and the seniors went out there. It was so everybody got a turkey that needed it. It was nice and beautiful. Everybody came, had their ticket, took their turkey. What was really funny that caught me, I see these seniors coming in wheelchairs and chairs just for their turkeys. And you know they're fixing the train on Myrtle Avenue. And you got these guys that work there, they're on the line. And I'm looking at them like, wait a minute, aren't you a flag man or aren't you working? He says, yeah, but you're giving out. No, these people need it. These are seniors, man. You should be giving us money to give to them because you got a job. And they looked at me like I was serious. You got to be kidding me. You got brand new trucks and cars. You got a vest on. You're making $45 an hour. And you taking a $20 turkey from a senior? I kept it real. He put his face down, looked down, and kept walking. I said, no, we don't do that here, man. You should give us some so we can give them. We know you're giving back. So I think they didn't like that. But then on Sunday, we had another community partners and the toy drive with the A3 precinct. Thank you, Deputy Inspector. I'm sorry. Our deputy. No, don't call him captain no more because you got used to that captain. And I know you can't say his name. You could call him Deputy Inspector P. How's that? Holy. Yeah. So he was there all day in the cold, handing out toys to our kids all over Bushwick. You'd be surprised. All day. January 2nd, Thursday, I went to the A3 and we met with the community partners, the new recruits. We met the new recruits. I'm not too sure if you guys watch the news in New York 12. We have an officer in the A3. I couldn't believe, and I tell you guys this because everybody has their own life issues and struggles. These officers, everybody thinks, oh man, they went to school, they got this officer, her mom was into drugs. She was in a shelter. An officer adopted her, quote me if I'm wrong, adopted her and her siblings. Adopted her and her siblings, and she's an officer in the A3 precinct. So things can really, it ain't hard. You know, you may go through hard times, your parents, and this is a thing that officers go through stuff too. You know, with people that are saying take away and defund, they're just like us. So they have issues too. They may not tell you, but I didn't even know when I saw it in the news. And I told my wife, I see that officer all the time and never mention anything of this. And so I guess they wanted to, she's a domestic violence officer. So imagine, was adopted by an officer. Her mom was in substance abuse, was in the shelter. Her whole family, now she's an officer in the A3. Think about that. There was also a fundraiser. There was a breakfast with the clergies, Latinos Unidos, January 7th from 3 to 5. Puente, we was in the CEC meeting. January 6th at 6 o'clock. The 7th, a borough board meeting. The 8th, CB4 at 10:30, district service cabinet. The same day I was in the Zoom. There is a interview for the new District 32 superintendent. There was 3 people there. So I don't know who they're gonna choose. One stand out good, but I know there were issues with that one person, but I don't know how they're gonna go upon choosing. Maybe the council person can tell us something. I don't know. Maybe she knows something that we don't know. But I was in the interview. I know our Parks and our Education Committee Chair Virgie Jones was in there too. So she's also educator, retired educator. She takes care of our kids too, retired. So hopefully we can get somebody that's going to represent us. And also just for there had been issues at the board's office in regards. I'm sorry and apologize to the committee or to any of the attorneys that came to the committee. There was no heat at all. Both boilers went down. I know Kim kept constantly calling me, Camacho, I'm cold. She had a heater. She plugged it on. The switch went on. We didn't want no fire. So I indicate them to work from home. So they're working from home until we get the boiler situated. I will speak to Dr. Igwe. Everybody knows Dr. Igwe. It was very cold. I know they went today. It was still cold. It was freezing there. So they're working from home. They switched times in regard to the phones. If any of the board members can't get a hold of them, can let me know. Have issues, let me know. I'll get a hold of them. We'll get back to you guys. As you know, sometimes they might be in an area that the phone don't work, or they picked up the phone and it's ringing and they're in the call. Because remember, they don't have the two-way phones that they have. So you got to wait a while or call back. They'll get back. If no one gets back, call me, call Celeste, let us know, and we'll get back. I think that is, wait, I'll tell you right now. That is, it's, oh, no, not yet. Don't forget, any board member that their expires, you got until February 15th, and am I right? 14th, Valentine's Day, to put it in. If not, somebody gonna send you flowers and it ain't gonna be in the board. So please, whoever's on this list, there is a list, and you didn't put in your application, put it in ahead of time. Anyone that's supposed to re-up their application from the board office. I think Angani, Zuma Naveau, Rubio, Ben Tucker, Alex Moreno, Christian, Annette Spelling, they're on here. So put in your applications. I'll put y'all right out there. Miss Spellings, you're out there. Who else is down here that? Okay, so I'm putting it, look, what's today? So don't tell me later on that I forgot, I didn't go inside. If not, call Kim or somebody, they'll help you, guide you, put the application in, because you got up till February 14th, and today is the 15th, so you know what you got, right? Less than a month, 30 days. No. The next crew is 2026. This one is 25, March 31st, 2025. So, and that is it. Oh, I had it here. Check it off. I'll let you know.
What questions for Mr. Camacho in reference to his report or in general? Going once, going twice. I don't see any hands on Zoom either. All right. We will move on. Thank you, Mr. Camacho, and we will welcome our council member, Sandy Nurse, to share some updates with us. Welcome, council member.
I'm awake. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. I will, as always, try to be to the point and concise, but it's good to Basis. And I do have some updates, and I did bring some stuff because I wasn't sure if we wanted to do the city of Yes fully or if we want to wait for the land use.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
just like a bridge.
I printed out like a whole thing, so you can take it away and have some stuff to review before the thing. I just also wanted to, we spoke briefly, but I'll bring you some greetings also from my colleague, Councilmember Jen Gutierrez. She has been on parental leave. That's why we haven't seen her in a while. She did welcome a beautiful baby girl into the world. Very healthy. We're very excited for her, but just want to give a shout out for her. Yeah, shout out to her. But also just recognize her staff has been working so hard in her absence. So shout out to Juan, Anya, and Angelico, and everyone else who's holding it down. It was mentioned about the GED program at Riseboro, and Jen and I worked really hard. We wrote letters, we've had meetings to get that restored. So just another sign that, even though she's been away, she's been working. Couple other things we will mention to parks. The Portland Loo is supposed to finish construction in fall of this year. It was supposed to be a 1-year construction, and that's the whole magic silver bullet of these Portland Loos. They cost $1 million, and they're supposed to be a year to install, versus $5 million and 5 to 10 years to install. So we're really looking forward to that. But if there are people pooping around it, we will definitely raise that to parks and put it on their radar. And please continue to let us know if that's happening. Just a couple other things. This is in Bushwick. We are now at our second early childcare facility that is closing. We had a meeting with a provider, and we did lose the application for Nuestros Niños because the landlord wants to raise the rent, and DOE and SCA is not willing to pay an incredibly exaggerated amount of rent. And so it's really, really important right now that if you know people who have young kids who should be in early childcare, that they utilize our local centers. We don't have enough people utilizing the seats that we have. We know that there is ongoing work to fix some of the seats so we can offer extended day, full day, the types of seats that people need, but we need to use these seats. If we don't use them, we lose them. So if anybody is enrollment just opened up, I believe yesterday or today. So if anybody has a young child, let's put them in these free childcare seats so we can continue to have them and continue to have our centers. And I know that as with the community board, I know, this is an issue that we've noted, we've flagged, and there's a lot of follow-up, but this is a thing that's happening and we need to make sure that we work to prevent it. Also just wanted to say that how nice Miss Barbara Smith's service was. It was a beautiful service. The choir was amazing. I thought it was an event, and just wanted to acknowledge anybody here who worked on it. It was a really, really wonderful way for her to transition home. And a couple other things. Broadway corridor was mentioned. This is $110 million project that we have been working on for quite a bit of time with DOT. And we have been working with both the Congresswoman Velasquez, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, our state elected officials. We've written letters to the governor. We actually tried to secure the $110 million with the City of Yes negotiations, but because we got the $309 million for the sewer upgrade for Knickerbocker Center and Wilson, which is a huge deal, they said, you got enough, go sit down. So we didn't get that. But it has been in the the House Appropriations Committee. We submitted that last year. Both Congress members put it in for their appropriations. It didn't get out. 5 million, yeah, each. They each put in 5 million. So we need the federal and state funding to match the city funds. But this is on the radar. It already has a project plan built out. We just need the money from the city. So we hope all of you testify, or maybe CB4 could write a letter. Another one I know we did with CB4, 3, and 16. And then we also had all the council members. It's on the city's radar, but this is budget season. So if you all want to write another letter to the mayor saying you'd like that money, that would be very, very helpful. And then lastly, we passed at the end of last year the Home Preservation and Debt Resolution Reform Act. This was something that we worked on for years to reform the way property tax liens get put on your property and the off ramps to if you fall behind on your property taxes, ways that you can get off that lien sale. So this is the first year that we're going to experience this. So if you are behind on your property taxes, notices are going out. If you've had a lien on your property, you may be exempt. You might be able to get off that list, but you want to get in contact with the city. You want to stay engaged with them. There's a lot of new options available for you to help you get off that list so that the lien that is placed on your property is not sold to an institutional investor and then you get a bunch of fines and fees. That was something we worked on really, really hard. Ryan from my office spent probably way more hours of his life than he ever imagined being on property tax on that. So this is the year. Pay attention for those notices. And if you have any questions, reach out to us. And then lastly, I'll leave a copy, but we have here a breakdown as best as we could in short form and somewhat long form of both the wins that the city council is able to secure from the city of Yes in our City for All housing proposal, a bunch of money, $2 billion for affordable housing, NYCHA repairs for Section 9 NYCHA, tenant protection, city fabs, a ton of stuff in here. I won't even go through it all. It lists stuff that we won for our district, and it breaks down some of the different proposals that I know you all spend a lot of time on, but are still so hard to understand. I mean, it's just really deep stuff. So I'll put that on the table and we'll work to get land use. They weren't available for today, but we'll work to get them so you all can get a breakdown of exactly what the outcome was. So thank you all. And thanks for all you do and proactively recruit people to the community board. Like proactively go out and talk to somebody and say, fill out this application. We really need good people here. So thank you.
Councilwoman, I just want to thank you also. What we really want to know is, what is the win and the loss in Bushwick? Because I know Bushwick had our plan that we had, and we don't know if we're giving away the house. Are we benefiting from it? Are our 1 and 2 family homes going to be saved? Is there anything there in regards to the city of Yes where it can be affordable to the people that lived in this community for so many years? Is it that we have to move away? We don't mind if you come here and you're making it and you're doing all right, but you can't leave the people that made this place what it is. Our kids can't afford to live here. They're moving out. It's getting harder for us to do. What is it? How is it that we can continue to work to make sure that our people are here and making sure that we support you in the way that you're supporting us to make sure that we're all right? Because I know I read the other day in regards to the RAD conversion that now those developers or the people that took over those programs, that's why we have to have HUD here. A lot of them are getting evicted and their rents are going up. And every time we ask management what's going on in regards to Hope Garden, I'm talking about Hope Garden because that's the only one we have in Bushwick. But we're reading that now they're evicting more people under that conversion than any other place. I know I saw a newspaper clipping. I sent it out to people I was reading, and I saw that there programs that we can send them or we can work with to make sure that if someone is senior, because I heard something, a 90-something-year-old senior was evicted, and then the family fought, and he went to court, and they brought him back. So there are tragedies that a lot of people you don't hear, that I hear, that they tell me and they confide in me. And I met the senior the other day, and I couldn't believe that this senior's been here forever and nobody's helping them. So we really need to know, is the city of yes or the city for all is going to be us? I'm not worried about all, because all the other people can afford to live here. The people that been here, that can't, our seniors, our kids, our youth that been here, ain't got nowhere to go. You see, they're closing down. They're closing down the daycare centers and the programs. They take away. We really need to work, guys. We can't keep having 500 meetings and nothing get done. We need to get stuff done. We can't keep this. There's no way we're going to keep meeting with everybody, having 500 meetings, and these elected officials too, because we want to know what's on their agenda. How is it that they're helping us? And it's a shame. It's a shame that the person that's in office now, that put this guy in office now, are the people that are disenfranchised, the working class people, because they're tired of listening to our old dogs not doing what they're supposed to do and not listening to the cries of the people.
So I heard three issues and I'll try to respond. One, in terms of the Hope Gardens, Fran and many people from my team spend a lot of time with cases. So if we don't know about the case, we can't help, but we also meet every month with the Wavecrest management, and we just compare lists, we compare notes. So if we've been going through those cases one by one, we've been helping people try to solve arrears. There's discrepancies between what people might owe with Wavecrest and what NYCHA has. There was a big blunder, I will call it, in the transition between Pinnacle, which was managing it, into Wavecrest. So they fully acknowledged that there was a big town hall. They acknowledged that the discrepancy between that. You were there, Mr. Camacho, as well as some other people here. And so we've been working through those cases, and the cases we know about, we work with the management. If we don't know about, the different offices have different cases because people go to different elected officials. We try our best to cross communicate and share that information. We have our own regular meeting with Wavecrest because we are trying to resolve the arrears cases we have. So if people are being evicted, please let us, or they're facing eviction, they need to get in contact with us as soon as possible. There are instances where people are not on leases and their person who was on the lease has passed away. They didn't do their paperwork. There's a lot of stuff that people need to do to preserve and keep themselves in their Section 9 or their Section 8 in their NYCHA development. You need to do your recertification. You need to do there is some stuff that people need to do. And when they don't do it, it causes a ton of problems that are really hard to undo. So we really, we're doing the best we can. We're happy to double up efforts wherever others are doing it, but we need people to reach out to us. The City for All, the document I put, has the most of the wins out of City of Yes is under the council's plan. Those were the capital commitments we were able to secure and negotiate for. They're listed out. Those are the things that are going to relate to NYCHA, relate to people who have Section 8 vouchers, or if you have a city voucher, that's where the money comes from to boost those programs. There was commitments for staffing for these agencies so that actually things can be processed on time. These are all commitments. It's up to us to hold their feet to the fire. And I think you said one other thing, but I can't remember. But if you have another question, I'll answer.
Just so you know, complaints about both eviction paperwork, evictions that are being served on people without a judge's signature. And it's something that needs to be looked at the point where I feel like report it to the Attorney General's office, because Wavecrest is not only doing those types of things over here, but they're doing it in Bed-Stuy as well. The other thing is certain people in Wavecrest are telling our tenants not to renew their Section 8. And a lot of them are afraid because they have nowhere to go. They don't know who to speak to and who's there to serve them. So just so that you know, these are things that are happening, and this is some of the information that I've gotten.
Felix Ceballos, CB4. I have a concern because Camacho talking about something and also Sandy Notch. Our community is disappear little by little because a lot of private company, they coming for renovation, for make a new construction, and they know how they can take out our people. They put money in their hand and they don't have choice. They get emotionally, they just take it and they have to leave. And another thing is how the situation is going up. A lot of people, like Sandino mentioned before about taxes, a lot of people, they can handle that. They can afford it for the taxes because it's too high too. And they, no matter what, they as our owner, they had to decide to leave, to sell the property because they can afford it. So we had to work together about all of that because a lot of people, they move from the area because they don't have other choice. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Please come up to the mic if anyone else has questions. All right. We have one person, I believe, on Zoom. Nope. Okay. Hand went down. All right. I don't see any other hands going once, going twice. We will move on now with the agenda. Thank you, council member. All right. And next we have the introduction of elected officials, name and contact information only. Any elected officials that are here in person, please come up to the front. And then anyone on Zoom, please raise your hand. Name and contact information. Right. Yeah.
Thank you. Ooh. I'm blanking out. I'm sorry. Jonathan from Congresswoman Nydia Velasquez's office. Phone number 718-599-3658. I know I look a little different, but it is me.
My name is Fran. I work for Councilmember Nurse. Our office number is 718-642-8664.
Kimberly Vega from Councilmember Jennifer Gutierrez's office. Our phone number is 718-963-3141.
Lacey Tauber, Borough President Reynoso's office, 718-802-3894.
Maria Valdez from the Office of Senator Julia Salazar, 718-573-1726.
I don't see any hands on Zoom. If there are any community-based organizations or city agencies here this evening, you also have the same opportunity, name and contact information.
Hi again, everyone. Venus Ganterbury. Our contact information is 917-742-4098. Thank you.
Joe Tonelli from Friends of Irving Square Park. You can email me at irvingsquarepark@gmail.com or call, text, or say hi to me. 845-242-0456. Hello, Mr. Camacho.
Thank you. Any businesses, name and contact information? All right. Okay. I see a few hands. Go ahead, Cynthia. And then Letitia. You're muted, Cynthia. if you're
Yeah, I
trying to
just
speak.
realized. Yep, I'm so sorry. Good evening, everyone. Cynthia Peña Ortiz with Coalition for Hispanic Family Services. Our phone number is 718-497-6090. You could also reach our FEC director at 450 and our community partnership at 776. Thank you.
Go ahead, Letitia. Yep.
Letitia Conley, Stockholm, Program Director for Stockholm Family Resident at 99 Stockholm Street. Telephone number is 718-391-5060. And I also want to thank the Community Board 4 and Mr. Camacho for giving the toys to our children this year for Christmas. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. All right. I see no one else this evening going once. Oh, go ahead, please.
You know, at times you forget that you're a community-based organization. Calvary and St. Cyprian's Episcopal Church, 966 Bushwick Avenue. We have our email, which is Calvary and St. Cyprian's.com. And the office number is 718-453-3764. If you want to contact me, Danielle Chambers, my number is 718-696-8831. And I'll be here. I'll give it to you personally. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Seeing no one else, we will move on now to the 83rd Precinct Commanding Officer, Deputy Inspector David Poggioli.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Thank you for having us this evening. 527 blocks. I like that. That's stuck in my head. Does that, if that mirrors the actual map of the 83rd precinct? Yeah, it's good to that number stuck in my head. 527 blocks. So a couple things I want to hit. Obviously, we'll go over our year-end 2024 crime figures. I'll let you know where we are currently, even though we're only a couple weeks into 2025. As Mr. Camacho said earlier, we're very fortunate that we were granted 8 new additional police officers, right? Any additional resources that come into the command, that come into community, benefits all of us as a whole. So we'll take the 8 new officers and, they'll be going to be used in some of our commercial corridors. They'll be using our transit facilities, but they're a part of the precinct, right? And entail that means they're now part of this community. So we highlighted them on social media. They actually made their way over to Wyckoff Hospital and met Mr. Rodriguez. You'll see them out there. Please engage them and introduce them and help bring them along to what expectations are of an A3 precinct officer, right? The relationship that this command has with this community is something that is very revered, right? And something that I hold personally close to my heart. And I ask you to now welcome these new officers to the command and to the community. Thank you for that. So 2024, one thing that I don't often bring up in these forums, and, we actually spoke about this morning at the clergy council meeting, is shooting incidents within the command, because in all transparency, right? Like, one shooting incident is clearly one too many, right? And we all acknowledge that. However, we do need to bring to light, like, just the strides that we have made collectively, right? Everything is collectively. I don't come up here and speak as a representative just of the A3 precinct, but I speak as a representative in charge of public safety within the Bushwick community. And we finished 2024 with 8 shooting incidents, 8 total shooting incidents. That's the lowest recorded number of shooting incidents since it's been tracked in the last 31 years. That's a testament to everyone's work here. And now, right, it just sets the benchmark to how much better we need to do going forward, right? We're at 8, so we'll take that forward. But I really wanted to highlight that because my first year here in 2013, when I was a newly promoted lieutenant, this community, unfortunately had 41 shooting incidents, right? And that's only going about 11 and a half, 12 years ago. So to stand in front of everybody today and speak about in 2024 to conclude the year with 8 shooting incidents, it's something I wanted to highlight and bring to everybody's attention. So, my tenure in this command started April 1st. We ended Q1 of 2024 up in crime, ended 2023 up in crime. And I told you, all right, one of my first words to everybody was like, we're going to get to work and we're going to hit the ground running. And I'm truly, truly, happy to show you where we are right now in 2025. So we finished 2024 with about a 14% decrease in overall index crimes. That includes reductions in robbery, which is something we spoke about at length in this room here, right? We spoke about the work that needed to be done with some street robberies, felony assaults, burglaries, grand larcenies of autos, all double-digit reductions in each of those crime categories. 14% overall decrease 2024. We're actually about a 9% decrease in our 2-year number as well. So we took care of that 23 number. We took care of that 2022 number, and we're making our way into 2025. And, early, yep, 2 weeks in, but, continuing that trend, we're about 63% decrease in overall index crime 2 weeks into 2025 compared to where we were at this point last year in 2024. So what does that mean? It means we still have a lot of work to do, right? We still took about 1,800 index crimes in this community. We always want to improve that, even though we had a decrease of about 290 incidents. We have room for improvement, and we're going to continue to do that. And my ask is what I always ask is this room. We multiply the message of what we speak about when we speak about crime prevention efforts, right? When we speak about events going on in the community that we're doing jointly, we ask you to go back and now multiply that message, that dialogue here in our clergy council meeting, in our community council meeting, which is taking place next Tuesday, the 21st at 6:30 in the evening at the precinct. We welcome everybody there, of course, to join us and just to continue to multiply that message. And we do, we want to even, I feel like we do a tremendous job of engagement with the community. I mean, Mr. Camacho goes above and beyond to highlight all the events that he could place himself out, that he sees firsthand that this community and this command does in unison. But let's take it forward, right? Like, bring to our attention, whether it's through our community affairs offices, our neighborhood coordination offices, our youth coordination offices, let us know what you see. You may walk by that chronic quality of life complaining, as you go to work or as you leave your house in the morning. Like, those are the things I need to know. We need to know, right? So we know how to deploy resources and we continue to improve, right? It's great that we could highlight some of our successes over the past 12 months. And it's great that we could highlight a reduction in violence in this community. But the work is never, ever done. Right? Never. The work is never, ever done. That's incumbent on me, inherent on me, and everybody in this room. Everybody in this room. So if the work is never done, let's continue the dialogue and continue to bring us the issues that everybody here wants to see addressed in their community. I thank you again for your continued partnership, and I'll open it up to see if there's any questions in the room. Thank you.
Felix Cevallo again. Hello, Carton.
Deputy Inspector, you didn't hear? We don't shine shoes no more.
I'm sorry.
That's no good. This is
I'm
recorded.
sorry.
They're gonna
I'm
hear
sorry.
that.
Inspector, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to know some reason to the shooting decline to a shooting only. If you can telling us some reason for that. Thank you.
Well, listen, the answer I always start off with, when anybody wants to give any accolades to progress we've made, it starts with the room, right? It's not just success on behalf of the precinct, it's a success on the community, the elected officials, the community board, the clergy council, just everybody circling around common topics and interests that they want to see addressed. And just to further that, right, to speak on a precinct-based level, I think a lot of it has to do with responsiveness, right? You know, like you have indicators of certain 911 calls, or as, you know, the gentleman's doing his project, certain 311 calls, you know, and just studying data, right, that's available to us and deploying accordingly, right? When you see a hotspot or something that could be problematic, instead of idly waiting to see if it in fact does become problematic, like let's just deploy the resources and get in front of the issue and take care of it before it results in a much worse condition. But that's, you know, if I could sum it up, it's just responsiveness, being aware of what's going on, deploying accordingly, and addressing it.
Hi, Captain Pacholi.
Miss Anderson, how are you?
Good, thank you. Deputy Inspector.
Thank you. That's my guy over there.
Captain. So Stephanie Anderson, CB4. Unfortunately, the other night, my car got broken into. And they only got away with a couple of things because we don't really leave anything in the car. But, you know, after we get the car fixed, we know that that is a hot spot now.
Yep.
I mean, there are some homeless people there. Times are hard. I don't know if they slept in there or whatever the case may be. But I wanted to know, do you have like a map of the hot spots that, you know, in reference to cars being broken into, or so that we can find a place that on the street that is safe to park?
Sure. Yeah. Well, you know, we identify clusters. The first question I got asked was, did you report it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Because that's always where it starts, right? We're not able to identify those clusters. If sometimes like issues are brought up in a forum like this and it's not reported beforehand, then that complaint won't become visible on a map. But I obviously know where you reside. You know, to be, you know, transparent, a lot of our loss seen from vehicles, as I just highlighted, have been down recently. Anything traceable out of the car stolen?
No, not really.
No.
Wires
Okay.
and
Yeah.
stuff like
Something
that.
good to follow. Video sources available?
Say again?
Video sources available? Like if, you know, there's any residential
You know,
cameras
the
that capture the
officers
crime?
looked around, but I don't know if they found anything, but they
Okay.
were saying that it was the lighting was pretty dim on the block. So maybe that's something to be addressed.
You speak with Officer Kowalczyk after. Let's just make sure we get your complaint report number so we could go back, because, you know, we could get in front of this one particular incident, you know, possibly identify the individual responsible. And then, like I just spoke to Mrs. Viles, like that responsiveness, getting out there, enforcement on the individual is going to prevent a reoccurrence.
Great. And would I be able to get that map or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. We'll provide that. Of course.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Anyone on Zoom? Nope. Going once?
Captain, you have to clear, man.
All right. See you next month.
It's hard. It's like a nickname. We got to
You
get
see
used
that?
to
I said
it.
Captain, but I didn't see if you guys were live. I know y'all all sick only when I say it, right?
All right. We will thank you, Deputy Inspector. We will move on now to the next item on our agenda, which is the district manager's report. That is my report. So good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. I hope you've been staying warm and the year is off to a good start. Today is also Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Let us carry the energy of speaking truth to power and making the change we want to see with us throughout the year. Over the holidays, the office is generally quiet, which gives staff time to follow up on administrative tasks and other projects. I'm excited to share that a community board resource library is in development, and its primary purpose is to serve as an administrative and operational support tool for community boards citywide. I would also like to thank this year's community planning fellow, Zev, for his work on the board's 311 project thus far. If you have any ideas or suggestions for other projects, please let me know or raise it at a relevant committee meeting. I'd also like to note that, as some might have noticed, some committees are more active than others. The role of the community board is based in the city charter. Mr. Camacho has referenced this in his reports. The board is an advisory body that reviews and informs the delivery of city services. It is a space for organizations, advocates, elected officials, and others to speak to and about neighborhood needs. CB4 has a long history of advocacy for all of Bushwick. I encourage everyone to keep this in mind as we move closer to board member term limits. And then below is an overview of the meetings and events that I've attended in the past month. I'll try to be brief. I usually spotlight a few instead of reading all of them. On Thursday, December 19th, I did attend the Living City Project Fall Final Exhibition. Some of you may recall that we had similar students in 2023. They had really excellent projects, and one of the students created a Neighborhoods for Dummies guide specifically for Bushwick. And so he talks a little bit about what's going on in the neighborhood, spent quite a bit of time. I'm happy to share that with the entire board so you can take a look at it. And then on Friday, December 20th, there was a meeting with the Brooklyn district managers to review. The borough president has put out some charter revision recommendations specific to community boards. And so the Brooklyn district managers had an opportunity to discuss, provide some feedback, and we will be following up on that discussion tomorrow with the borough president himself. There was also a Riseboro property management update meeting that day. We continue to speak with the property management team about ongoing concerns. They've been very helpful check-ins, and I think that it's led to resolution for the most part of some of the major issues and concerns, and definitely improved communication over a period of time. We know every organization goes through transition. It's super important to have communication, clear communication when that's happening. And on December 23rd, I had a call with Katerina Paturi from the New York City Transit MTA. It was just a general check-in to see how everything is going with the rehabilitation projects for the JMZ. As of last week, we have a new liaison, Anthony Drummond. Some of you may recall Anthony worked at the BP's office when our current mayor was the borough president, and he also worked for a little bit for HPD. So it's great to have a familiar name and face in that role. I'm sure we'll be hearing from him soon enough with updates about everything else happening with the MTA. And we were closed, of course, for both holidays. And let's see. I've also been speaking with Quincy Bear from the Urban Land Institute. All board members should have received information already about the February 13th Urban Plan Workshop. This is the second year we've been able to work with them. This is a workshop for all of Brooklyn. Very fortunate to be able to host it. I think everyone who attended last year really enjoyed it. I encourage more folks to sign up. We are trying to cast a wide net to make sure there's more diverse participation. I want to thank all the committee chairs that I've checked in with for the past year. I also spoke with Noel Elaine from the Bushwick Star. They are very happy to have finished the year in their own space, the space open. They had a very successful first show. We'll be hearing more from them at an upcoming Arts, Culture, Technology Committee meeting. We've also been speaking to the Borough President's Office, to the Director of Community Boards, Carol Ann Church, about membership outreach. We are in the process of seeing if it's feasible for the board to send a district-wide, so a Bushwick-wide mailer to every single household, encouraging people to apply. Let's see how many applications we can get if we can do that. And then what else? We have participatory budgeting, the coalition meeting with El Puente for the Civic Engagement Commission's PB process. And we thank all of our agency liaisons that continue to attend the district service cabinet. As Mr. Camacho has noted, is very well attended by both elected officials and the city agencies. I also attended the superintendent candidates town hall for District 32. There were 3 different candidates, and it's going to be, a process for us. We'll know what the decision was, hopefully within the next month or so, and we'll keep everyone posted. And let's see. On Friday, January 10th, I attended a records management. This was the second workshop that I listened in on. It's been a while since records management has checked in with the community boards, as one could imagine. We received 2 notices over the holidays, one the day after Christmas, one the day after New Year's Day, stating that we had failed to provide charter mandated reports. We were never notified we were supposed to provide those reports. We then inquired about who was supposed to notify us of those reports, and no one has yet to respond. So we may not have to provide any reports if we do not have a sense of what the requirement is. We will certainly keep folks posted, but these workshops were intended to be tools to help the boards get in compliance with making sure that agendas and minutes and so on and so forth are provided. They will be sending something in writing as per Mr. Camacho's request to all of the community boards. And this is something that happens citywide, of course. And I had a meeting with Paula Melendez from Promesa and Cindy from the Hope Gardens Tenant Association. We spoke a bit about Hope Gardens concerns, and then also a CB4 and NYC Health vaccine pop-up. More information on that soon. Most likely will be the flu and or COVID vaccine. Depends on the need from the community. And the Borough Service Cabinet meeting was yesterday. It was district managers only. The Borough President's Office prepared a presentation on the city budget charter requirements for the BP's office and the community boards. And I also spoke with Augustine Cepeda from the Center for Urban Pedagogy. It was a check-in to discuss the community board term limit project. There may be a next step this year. We are currently waiting for the Civic Engagement Commission to share their presentation, everything that was prepared last year with the borough presidents. And then hopefully we'll see and hear from them before the end of January if they're interested in moving forward and collaborating with the community boards. And that concludes my report this evening. Thank you, everyone.
I also want to remind some of our committee chairs. We know that a lot of us work or in some CBOs or organizations on their own, and they may know someone that wants to make a presentation in regards to things that they may have. It goes through the chair of the committee, then it goes through Celeste, and Celeste brings it to me. Try not, I'm talking to our chairs, try not to create a side stuff, because under the open law meeting, you have to be open. You can't do, I know if you read in the news, there's been a couple of board doing meetings on their own. I didn't approve them. If you guys do meetings on your own, because we will get cited. I'm straight with all these board members. I'm open with everyone. I know everybody knows someone that go through her, go through committee. Don't make deals on the side. Because I know we have people that love bikes. We got people that don't love bikes. We got people that want to take away my car, and we got people that want open space. So if you're here with us as board and you live in this community and you work in this community, you got to work with us together. If you want something and we want something, we got to work together. We can't have this bully tactics and people making deals. I'll be gone in 2027, or if they don't put me in now, I'll be gone. But I'm going to be the first one sitting in here when I see people doing deals with my community like Monty Hall. This ain't the Price is Right. You're laughing, I'm serious. Because people are suffering here. And we got people in office now that we don't want there. And because people are not being heard, are crying out. So please, I don't want to make Celeste's job any harder. We don't want to make you. And the first thing we used to do, we used to stay here 2, 3 in the morning. But there was nothing in Bushwick. This was all burnt down. So there was a problem that we needed to take care of to make sure that the people continue to live here. And we made it happen. But if you don't have nothing on the agenda and nothing that's going to fall, speak to her, let us know. We want to welcome everybody. Everybody got ideas. Everybody who wants to do. It's got to go through committee. She can put the person through committee. You listen, committee listens to it. They make a recommendation. If they got quorum, if there's no quorum, they can't make a recommendation. Quorum is inside. Quorum is not on Zoom. Okay? You can make the recommendation, but it can't go until you come to the full board. We have to educate. You know why? Because when we're gone, we're going to have the people that are coming in, and we're going to have things that are happening now in other boards that never happened. And then there's divisiveness with the people that came here and the people that lived here for years. We're all suffering, ain't we one? So we all, whether you can afford the $5,000 rent or you can't, we really got to make sure we support everybody. All of us, because all of us suffer. Because tomorrow, and I see it now, You may be paying that 3,000, but somebody gonna come here and pay the 4,000, and you'll be out. So it ain't funny because I see it. So we want to make sure, and we want to make sure that I keep my district a manager and make sure that the people that are working for us, to make sure that I'm gonna tell you what Barbara Smith used to say all the time. If you're not here for Bushwick, all of the community needs to be part. We represent all of Bushwick, not some, and the community is the one. Because that's what we hear, community boards. So ain't no special treatment for anyone else. I have to let y'all guys know this because I'm getting constantly people saying, well, people got personal agendas because they're in one set of crew. I know if you're in the bike crew and you coming in here and people aren't bikers, then make something where we can work with cars. If you want us to get with you, let's work together to make sure that we both live here. There ain't that much room in this place for all of us, but we can make it happen. When I came from Puerto Rico, I was a month old, there was 14 of us. So I know what it's like.
Thank you, Mr. Camacho. Any other questions or comments on that or my report? If not, going once, going twice. I don't see anything on Zoom. We will move forward now with our committee report. And currently, the position for committee chair is vacant after Melissa Carrera Solano resigned. We did have the board's second vice chair, Milagros Sandoval, at the meeting. Millie, do you feel comfortable summarizing the report, or would you like to ask a committee member to do so? All right.
Can I make a recommendation?
What? What Mr. Camacho would like to ask you to try, is what he's saying. Do you feel comfortable? Okay.
Kim, they're recommending you.
Yeah, Kim is now pointing at Christine. Christine, do you feel comfortable summarizing this report? It's right here. Yeah. It's the only one and only.
Señor Helado.
Got it.
Wow. All right. I get the award for showing up. Okay, cool. Okay. Let's see. Usually when I have to do this, I try to study it. So we only had a few, thank you. We only had a few liquor licenses on the agenda this time around. We had Punta Cana Sports Club sports bar on 1204 Halsey Street, which is a new liquor license, liquor, wine, beer, cider. And that's on the corner of Halsey and Wilson. They had, remind me, their intended sales of alcohol hours are Sunday through Thursday, 12 to 12, Friday through Saturday, 12 to 2. I don't think there was anything controversial about this one. So I believe we voted to support this particular license. The next one was Singularity Cupboard, which is at 1717 Broadway. It's a new liquor, wine, beer, cider license on the corner of Cooper and Broadway. These folks were returning because the last time they're on a corner and they didn't have the appropriate paperwork for the entrance that they were using. So we asked them to come back with some additional paperwork, which they shared. It was a little bit of a controversial application, I would say, just because there was a little bit of messiness, I guess, where we weren't quite sure, where exactly the entrance was, where the egress was, if they had gotten all of their appropriate paperwork. I can't remember, did we agree to we supported this one, right? With additional security measures. Thank you so much. Correct. You would be good at this too. Great. And so this is part of a comedy venue as well. And I think that is it. We also had Jose Hernandez who mentioned that in looking at the floor plan, he saw that there was nothing blocking the fire escape. So that was all good. We really spent a long time on this application, like dotting our I's and crossing our T's. And at the end, we were on the fence, but I think ultimately supported it. And then finally we had, or two more, El Pausa at 244 Wyckoff Avenue, located at the corner of Grove Street. This is a new wine, beer, and cider restaurant. Their intended hours of alcohol sales are 8:30 through 10 p.m. on all days. Starts early, but ends early as well. So that was pretty non-controversial. There were some just minor discrepancies about flagging clerical error in terms of listing live music as occasional, that sort of thing. But I think otherwise it was uncontroversial, right? They amended it and that was all fine and well. And then finally, we had Casa del Sabor, which is at 444 Wilson Avenue, liquor, wine, beer, and cider at the corner of Cornelia and Wilson. This is a restaurant as well with intended sale of alcohol hours Monday through Thursday, 8 to 12, Friday and Saturday, 11 to 4. And Sundays 8 to 12. We also went back and forth a little bit on this one. And as of a little bit now, the committee has our stipulations say to go until 12 a.m. Monday through Thursday and until 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday. So I don't remember, did they agree to do that? No, they did not agree to do that. So we did not support it, correct? Right. It was a compromise. That's right. We supported extending. So they were basically just coming before us. Thank you so much. They were basically coming before the community board to request extended hours on both Sunday and Friday and Saturday. And we agreed to the Sunday hours because those were within our stipulations, but the Friday and Saturday were not. So I think that we'd not support this application. And that's going to be, for the most part, the amended hours that are a little bit scaled back has been fairly uncontroversial. Most people don't push back on that, but it has come up a couple of times. And so we've been trying to be consistent about that in terms of recommending the same hours. As Mr. Camacho mentioned, there's some other larger venues that are about to come before the board to ask something similar. And we're trying to be consistent about our recommendations. We will also probably be revisiting this topic because I don't know if you would like to speak to it, but we will probably be just wait until we speak to it perhaps next time. Okay, and then I think that the other last couple of bits of business were not super impactful. There's a new club called the Empyrean Club on 421 Troutman Street, which is old business, which is just that they were making a minor amendment to their application for a storage area, but it was a very positive thing because they're coming before us with a minor amendment just to be within the rules and regulations. So I think that is about it. Did I miss anything important? Okay, that is all.
Thank you. All right, there we go. Be prepared. So we have recommendations next, and I believe we just have recommendations from that committee. I will just make a point of information. As was referenced earlier, there was no heat in the office. The committee had to meet virtually. They were not able to vote because it was not in compliance with the open meeting law. However, they did make a motion to help guide our discussion this evening. As Christina's mentioned, it was the standard stipulations of Sunday to Thursday till midnight. That's the stop of liquor sales, the end of liquor sales. They can stay as long as they want. It's just the end of liquor sales. And then Friday and Saturday till 2 a.m. And that's when the end of liquor sales occurs. And then, of course, the other standard stipulations, no outdoor music, et cetera, et cetera. And that was my understanding for all of the new applications. How do you soundproof an outdoor space? How do you do that?
That's their problem.
Yeah, like you can't soundproof an outdoor. I look forward to seeing that. I mean, I've heard of soundproofing inside. I've never heard of soundproofing outside.
They're gonna be in a bubble. They cover it.
Okay. Okay. So soundproofing outside with the covering, let's set some precedent, y'all. Let's get some outdoor soundproofing. Okay. So all of those in addition to that. And then we had the method of operation, which was similar to what was described. Let me just take a look at this really quick. There was a motion in approval, and then they specified the Sunday hours from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. That was the only change that was going to be made to that application. The 4 a.m. hours that's not in compliance with the board stipulations. Is that correct, Kim? All right, great. And then let's see, there were several other establishments that were not in attendance and did not communicate with the board's office. That's Mi Cholulita Bella Restaurant at 1386 DeKalb. Let's see, and then also Chilango's Taqueria at 295 Wyckoff Avenue, new liquor, wine, beer, cider. Those were not in favor because they didn't come to the meeting. They didn't indicate what they were doing. Is there a motion from the board in reference to not the recommendation, but the motions that were made at that meeting, now that we have a quorum and we are in person? Zach Hendrickson makes a motion in favor. Okay. Got it. Second by Barbara Jackson. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstained? Any opposed? I don't want to say I missed it. Anyone on Zoom opposed, abstained? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Yeah, we did. So move. Thank you, everyone. All right. We will now move on to, if there's no other recommendations, going once, going twice. All right. Old business. Any old business? Going once, going twice. Hearing none. New business. I have one thing that I did not mention under my report that I think is worth mentioning. I joined Mr. Camacho at the Borough Board meeting this month. There was a presentation on the Atlantic Avenue mixed use plan. For those that aren't familiar, this was originally a community board effort over 10, 11 years ago. Sound familiar? We did the same thing. However, their plan is moving forward. There are 3 versions of their plan. There's the community board plan, the city planning version of the plan, and the council members version of the plan. The reason why this is relevant to Bushwick: industrial space is on Atlantic Avenue. Industrial space is in Bushwick. There are a lot of examples within that plan of properties that are within Bushwick that could be precedent. I'm just saying. So I encourage everyone. I encourage the Housing and Land Use Committee to take a look. I did speak with the district manager of Community Board 8. She said that the board members love talking about this plan. So they're happy to come to a meeting. Just let them know. But just wanted to put that on everyone's radar. It is something that's moving forward. It is in the ULURP process right now. Any other new business? Going once, going twice. All right. Announcements. We technically did this earlier. Anyone else? I have to call it just in case. Going once. Please come up.
Hi, Ann Guiney, Housing and Land Use Committee. I just wanted to second what Celeste had made an announcement about before, which is this ULI workshop about zoning. It's a full day. It's a lot. Not everyone can do that. Work gets in the way. It's super educational. We had a lot of fun, and it really helps people work through the push and pull of development. And we all, you get to be the one making the decisions and really just try and figure out how to make X or Y or Z work. If you have the time, not everyone does, 100% recommend doing it, and that's it. And it's in the email. I believe it's February 13th, but you have to apply by January 24th or 5th. So soon. Anyway, it was a lot of fun.
Thank you. And I'll send a reminder. Go ahead, Zach.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Zach Hendrickson, board member. Just wanted to shout out one of the public safety things that came up on Myrtle Broadway was also drug use and overdose, which is something that a lot of us are familiar with in one way or another. I just wanted to offer, I know there are lots of community groups that do this, but I'm also a registered Narcan trainer. I have one training coming up this next weekend that's outside of the district, but I want to offer to folks, if there's a community group here, like a group of neighbors or folks who are interested in this, a church group, whatever. I'm registered with the city. I have access to supplies. I would be happy to set up a training for you. So if that's something you're interested in, please just reach out and let me know. You can get my information from, the roster everywhere. You guys know me. So
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I've been enjoying watching everyone crouch down. This is just my height, though. Alec Meeker from the Bushwick Daily just couldn't be here tonight, but asked me to just mention to everybody there was a fire. Also speaking about Myrtle Broadway, there was a fire right before the holidays that really impacted a couple of our small businesses there, La Lupe Restaurant and Indica House. They are both recovering now, but Bushwick Daily ran a fundraiser for them, which raised $1,400 from the community to support the employees who are out of work during the holidays. And he just wanted to give them a shout out and ask people if they're in the neighborhood to support the businesses as they're recovering. That's all.
All right. I see no one else up front. I see no hands on Zoom. We will move up. Oh, go ahead, Fran.
It's not an announcement, but I told Joe already for those asking when the construction of the Portland Loo is to be finished, it is currently scheduled to end fall of 2025. I promise to call tomorrow and see if they have an update on that timeline. However, if you see poo outside of the loo, give me a call. Please report it to 311 and give me that number because that should not be happening. Thank you.
Thanks, Fran. All right. I see no one else. We will now move on to our second roll call. Board members, please be ready. Jerry Valentine.
Present. Good night, everybody.
Ben Tucker. Christian Celeste Tate. James Stewart. Annette Spellin. Milagros Sandoval. Eliseo Ruiz. Raul Rubio. Zuma Navoa.
Present.
Ramika Nichols Barnes. Alex Moreno. Freddie Madison. Christine Malden. Luisa Jose. Tara Jones Thomas. Virgie Jones. Kaisha Johnson. Barbara Jackson. Tanisha Honeygan.
Present.
Deborah Hicks.
Good night.
Zachary Hendrickson. Ann Guiney. Please sign in, Ann. Christopher Graham. Jason Gares. Joanna Fuentes Singh. Karina Dodd. Alvina Davis. Andrew Choi.
Present. Good night.
Melissa Carrera Solano is resigned. Robert Camacho. Felix Ceballos. Felix Ceballos. Thank you. All right. Makiba Brown Elaine. Joanna Bennett. Stephanie Anderson. Isa Abni. Motion to adjourn. Alvina Davis, Raul Rubio seconds, all in favor. Any opposed? Any abstentions? 8:13. Let's keep this up, y'all.
Good night,
Record.
everyone.
Ding, 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 ding. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Buenas noches a todos.